Welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And my friends, we are down to the conference finals, the final four teams in the hunt for Lord Stanley's Cup. In the Eastern Conference, we have a familiar foe, the Carolina Hurricanes, who I hate more than anything in life. They've owned our Devils, and I hope they get knocked out by the Panthers. And then obviously the Panthers, the other team in the Eastern Conference Finals, looking to win back-to-back Stanley Cups. And in the West, the Dallas Stars and Edmonton Oilers. And the other night I was watching Game 7 of the Panthers Maple Leaf series, and I was just thinking about a lot of things and the Devils and the teams remaining in the playoffs. And then it hit me. It wasn't anything new. It wasn't a new epiphany that I had. It was something that I had known forever, but it became very glaring for me in that moment. And that is, there is something very much in common with all four of the remaining teams in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And something that the New Jersey Devils and Tom Fitzgerald should learn from. And you may ask, well, what do these four teams have in common? Well, outside of them being good teams last year, all were very good teams last year, playoff teams. Obviously, Oilers went to the Cup Finals and lost to the Panthers, Cup champs. Hurricanes lost in the second round, and the Dallas Stars lost in the Western Conference Finals. Aside from being good teams, what do they have in common? This season, all of these teams made some trades in season to make their teams better. Oh my God, the thought. Yes, guys, I know as Devils fans, a lot of you aren't aware that NHL teams can make trades during the season and at the deadline. Impactful moves. But they can. Just because we haven't seen any in New Jersey does not mean that is impossible. And this is a lesson that must be learned by the Devils. I don't know why we've seen the inactivity the past couple seasons, but the reality is all of these teams were good teams already, and their GMs found a way to make their teams better. I'm going to start off with the defending champs, the Panthers. What did the Panthers do to make their team better this year? They went out and got Seth Jones on defense. And at the deadline, they bring in Brad Marchand. I mean, wow, guys. What are we... These are big boy moves. These are moves by teams truly trying to win. Win now. The defending champs, they go and get Seth Jones. They go and get Brad Marchand. And what do you know? Game 7, they both played a massive role in the win. Seth Jones opens up the scoring in the game, giving the Panthers the 1-0 lead. And then the Panthers' second goal was entirely created by Brad Marchand. He gets the assist there. Their fingerprints were all over that Game 7 victory, and they are both going to be big pieces for the Panthers on this playoff run that very well may end up with them being Cup champs. Back-to-back. And then we go to the Hurricanes. And this is what kills me because, again, I hate to say I told you so. What do the Hurricanes do? I mean, let's just... Rewinding back a little bit, the Hurricanes go to knock it out of the park. They make a 3-team deal and end up getting Rantanen and Taylor Hall. I mean, that shocked the hockey world. Rantanen and Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall, a guy that I wanted to see the Devils bring back. I made a video about it 4 months ago, late January, and I thought that he represented a very good low-risk, high-reward option for the Devils. For a team that needed so much help offensively, Taylor Hall, at worst case, would have been an amazing bottom 6 addition, and at best case, would have slotted in the top 6, and with the way the playoffs ended, I don't see how Taylor Hall would not have been in our top 6. But that was a move that was there for the taking. And then he ends up signing in Carolina on a fairly team-friendly deal for the next couple years. That could have been the Devils. Huge miss there. But Carolina, again, a team truly trying to win. They go to knock it out of the park. They get Rantanen and Hall. Obviously, the Rantanen thing did not work out. He did not want to stay there. So then what do? They take Rantanen and flip him to Dallas. Trade him to Dallas, bring in some other pieces in Stankoven. And Taylor Hall and Stankoven have worked out pretty well for the Hurricanes. A lot of people were questioning how the team would respond without Natchez, a longtime Cane, and he's been there, for all of their runs. But in the end, Carolina looking to go big, and they go for Rantanen and it didn't work out, and then they flip him. Taylor Hall and Stankoven both fitting in very nicely there, and they are now in the conference finals. I mean, these are teams trying to win now. This is what winning now looks like, guys. This is what it looks like. And then we go to the Western Conference. The Dallas Stars brought in Granlund pretty early, well before the deadline. A lot of people wanted to see the Devils try to make a run at him for a depth center. The Stars go out and get Granlund. They get Ceci. And then later on, obviously, at the deadline, they pull off the Rantanen deal. I mean, again, how much more clear does it need to be? They went true big game hunting. They get Rantanen from Carolina. They end up re-signing him. And, wow, he is an early Conn Smythe favorite. Should the Stars go on to win the Cup, Rantanen will most likely be the Conn Smythe winner. A guy that they got at the deadline who was traded to another team before that. I mean, again, win now, big boy, impactful moves. Granlund was a great depth move. They got CC in that deal. And then they go out and get the biggest name on the board, which was Rantanen, after a short stint in Carolina. And the Dallas Stars are back in the conference finals, and Rantanen is dominating. Completely dominating. I mean, wow. It's just to sit by and watch teams do this, make these types of moves to truly win. It's discouraging, and it's why I have personally been pounding the table for the past couple of years, because that 22-23 season for the Devils should have been the turnaround. That should have signified win now, and moves like this, obviously Rantanen's an extreme example, but bringing in impactful players to really move the needle to push the team towards a cup, that is what must be done to win in this league. All four of these teams were good teams last year. Again, a cup champion, the loser of the cup finals, then a team that went to the conference finals, and a team that went to the second round. These were good teams, and they're constantly looking to get better, and Dallas did it. Granlund, CC, hit it out of the park with Rantanen. He's dominating, and what a story for the Stars, and they're in the conference finals. And then we go to the Oilers. Oilers had some more kind of smaller moves, but I would say the most probably noteworthy one for them was bringing in another guy that a lot of Devils fans wanted to see, Trent Frederick. Would have loved him in our bottom six. And the funny part is we technically traded him to Edmonton in a three-way deal, and a lot of people were like, wow, we would have liked him. But a smart depth move by the Oilers. Frederick's a dog. I would have loved to see him on the Devils. Wasn't in the cards, and so instead we play banker, retain some of his salary, and trade him to Edmonton. But the commonality with all four of these teams is that they made moves to truly make their team better and push towards a cup. Period. Now, again, I hate to keep complaining, but when you look at these moves by these teams, and then you look at what the Devils did, it's night and day. There is no comparison. And so for our deadline to bring us back up front, Cody Glass and Daniel Sprong is super underwhelming, and that's not a team truly trying to win. I'm sorry, guys. Sprong and Glass in a vacuum, I don't hate the moves as depth pieces, but that cannot be your main moves. Absolutely not. Had we made one of these big boy moves like one of these other teams did, and Glass and Sprong were kind of the second headline of the day, I'm totally okay with it. But when that is your headline move, it's not going to get it done. It's not nearly enough, and it does not signify a team truly trying to win, in my opinion. And so when I see the success of these teams, it's frustrating because it is no secret. In-season moves, a lot of times, is what puts teams over the hump. And we've seen it with our own New Jersey Devils. With our own New Jersey Devils. In 1995, Lou was making some trades, brought in Sean Chambers, Neil Broughton. The 2000 season, Claude Lemieux was brought back. We bring in Mo Gilney. 2003, the season before, we made that Langenbrunner trade, Langenbrunner and Neuendijk for McKay and Arnott, which had a huge role in the next season. But in the 2003 season, they brought in Grant Marshall. I mean, moves have to be made in season, period. Moves have to be made. You have to be looking to make your team as good as possible for the playoff run and the playoffs themselves. It has not happened here. 23-24, drowning because of bad goaltending. Nothing was done. We missed the playoffs. And now, obviously, this past 24-25 season, there was glaring needs for a few months. The scoring was just drying up, bottom six, non-existent. And we did nothing all season, and then we make very just minor little moves at the deadline. It almost felt like it was for the sake of saying you tried something. Not nearly enough. Completely underwhelming, and it's time for this franchise to truly turn the corner. And what I mean by that is start making some of these impactful deals. Start making these impactful deals. What are we waiting for? Again, for the 1 millionth time, Jesper Bratt and Nico Hischier have played in this league for 8 seasons, guys. 8 seasons. 8 seasons. One single playoff round one against the New York Rangers. 1. 7 total playoff games won in 8 seasons of these guys. Nico only has 2 years left on his deal. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. There is no guarantee Nico will be here beyond that. Now, I certainly hope and pray that he is, and he retires a Devil. A long, nice career at the Devils, hopefully wins a cup or 2, and retires a New Jersey Devil. But the fact is, that is not guaranteed. Nico being here after his contract is up is not guaranteed. What are we waiting for? Furthermore, when you have a guy like Jacob Markstrom, that truly should signify win now. He has 1 year left on his deal. He's towards the end of his career. He may end up re-signing for another year or two at some point. Who knows? But when you have these pieces in place with Timo Meier, Jesper Bratt, Nico Hischier, Jack Hughes, nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed at all. And you must maneuver accordingly. That's it. We have Markey for at least 1 more year. We have Nico for 2. The window is now. There is no more looking towards the future. There is no future. The future is now. There is a future, obviously. I'm exaggerating. But you cannot keep kicking the can down the road talking about how good we are going to be, because this is the rhetoric that has been talked about for years now, how bright the future is. The future needs to be now, guys. Now. The core is aging quickly, and you see it. Years fly by. Years fly by, and what was a once promising future becomes a past of regret and what could have been. And I fear that we are quickly heading in that direction with this group. I really do. I do like our core. A lot of people have questioned it and saying, oh, they're just like Toronto's core and they couldn't get it done, blah, blah, blah. And while I think no core is perfect, and obviously Jack's injuries are a big concern, a core consisting of Jack Hughes, Jesper Bratt, Nico Hischier, Timo Meier is a pretty damn good core. With now solid goaltending in Markey, solid defense, the only thing that really needs to come together is the forward group. And moves need to be made. I still think we need a little grit, hopefully more skilled grit. I forget who said it, as someone coined the phrase skrit, a combination of skill and grit. Everyone's looking for it, but you need that characteristic in the recipe of your team to win, period. Period. But it's not going to get done by trading for fringe AHLers on trade deadline day. It absolutely will not. And so I'm just frustrated. I know I've talked about this a lot, but when I saw the final 4 teams and you look at the moves that they had made during the season, and especially watching the Game 7 while Seth Jones, an acquisition for the Panthers this year, scores the goal to start the game, give them the lead 1-0, and then Marchand, a complete beast on the second goal, you're like, this is what winning teams do. They build on what they have, and they look for those pieces to put them over the top, and the Devils have not shown any iota of doing that. And the time is now. Again, I do believe they could have a bright future, but that doesn't matter. Do you think Jacob Markstrom cares about the future? Do you think Nico Hischier is excited about prospects and draft picks for years down the line? He might not even be here. Nothing is guaranteed. You have the pieces in place. You do it now. Right now. That's it. There's no more waiting. There's no more anything. There's no more, one day when everything aligns and Mercury's in retrograde and this happens and that happens. And, it seems like Fitzgerald is just hoping to luck into a Stanley Cup run. Like every single thing's going to go right for us in some magical universe and it's all going to come together and then just bam, we're going to be in the Cup Finals. It does not work that way. It requires constant tinkering and making some tough decisions and making big boy moves. And all of these teams have made meaningful moves in the season. That is it. In-season moves is what shapes Stanley Cup championship teams and Stanley Cup contending teams. We haven't seen it yet. I'm hoping that the Devils take a long, hard look in the mirror at these teams and you see the commonality between them, and it's that they really are in win-now mode and they make moves that reflect that. And that's kind of it. But it's just frustrating to see because it's no secret. And with our own Devils, we've seen it in their history of the Stanley Cup teams that Lou Lamoriello always had his finger on the pulse of those teams and always made trades, even if they seemed crazy at the time, to push the team over the top. Whether it was bringing in veterans, trading somewhat promising young kids for a piece that he thought we were missing, but he always knew what had to be done, and he did it. No hesitation, got it done. Got it done, and we have 3 beautiful Stanley Cup championships to show for it. Unfortunately, the last one was now 22 years ago, and I'm hoping just to see one more before I croak, guys. I know a lot of you longtime Devils fans are hoping for the same, and if it doesn't happen with this core, it certainly would be just an absolute travesty. To have the core in place that we have with the draft fortunes that we've had, 2 number 1 overall picks, a number 2, a number 4, a number 7. I mean, that holds. It doesn't end, but something's got to give. And if we do not see meaningful moves in the season for the 25-26 season, I don't know. I will certainly be beyond livid because what are we waiting for? The time is now. But I said a lot in this video. I know some of you kind of echoed some of these sentiments and comments over the past week or so. But let me know what you thought about anything I had mentioned in this video. Everything Devils hockey, throw it out there in the comments. I enjoyed talking to all of you. Anything about the playoffs, just throw it all out there. Always working on a bunch of stuff in the works. Excited for these conference finals to start. We should see some good matchups, and whatever the Stanley Cup final shakes out to be, it should be an interesting one. But wow, a lot of storylines, a lot of interesting things to keep an eye on. I'll be pumped watching the games. I'm sure many of you will as well. And I'll be back soon, just waiting for news and updates and all that fun off-season stuff. And this off-season is going to feel like an eternity. And that's it, guys. Rant over. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. Thank you all for watching. I love you all. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.